everybody, and welcome back to yet again another Getting to Know the Artist. I am Wiggles, your host, and we have Miss Rev Finesse sitting next to us. We are going to get to know her. I know this woman personally, but I don't know her so much as an artist, so it's still a learning curve for me. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We're gonna jump right in, y'all, with the first question. Get the ball rolling on it. I think each and every one of you that have came in that are in here now, please share out, hit the like, get some more people in here, trigger that algorithm. This is a different hours than I normally stream, so should be interesting. We're gonna jump right in with the first question, and that is, what is your name? Where was you born and raised, and where do you currently live now?
Okay, so my real name, I
If you want to give us your real name, give us your real name. If you just say your
well,
stage name, you say your
I
stage
got
name.
I got Rev Finesse, also known as Misty. A lot of people know me by my actual name too, so I'm fine with that. I'm from the 614 Columbus West Side area. Um, Still within that area. So
Hell yeah. You never wanted to move, or just
I
you like
have
the
before.
area?
I
Okay.
have before. I
Yeah.
have lived in different areas. I'm just saying right now I'm back in my home turf area, so like it,
Absolutely. No,
it's
I have artists
accountability right
come
now.
up here and they literally moved across the country from where they were born. And then, some people literally still live in like their home neighborhood. So it's just an
Oh,
interesting question to ask.
the Midwest is my home. I lived in Tennessee for a short period of time, and in Nashville, it felt very different than the Midwest. Going south, I'm
Right.
like, they're like, you're very northern. I'm like, why do you say that? You're very blunt. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Is that an insult? Because no.
What?
Uh,
Us Ohioans kind of just say it.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Uh, Next question is it's kind of three part. Are you a juggalo? How long have you been down? And do you consider yourself a juggalo rapper? Because some people don't like being put in a box. Some people don't see a box. I don't know. What's your take on that? So, are you a juggalo? How long have you been a juggalo? And then do you consider yourself a juggalo singer, rapper, whatever, etc.?
Well, okay, so I can answer two of those in one response, and that is that I'm a juggalo that raps. So, like, yes, I am a juggalo. It was introduced to me in about 1994. So my first real experience with ICP was Beverly Kills, which was right before Ringmaster was released.
Hell yeah. So,
So
what,
almost 31
20
years.
plus? Yeah, yeah. I'm about to say, I
31
was,
years.
yeah, I found myself in
I'm 40.
2000.
I'm
Okay,
40
yeah,
years
yeah.
old. I'll be 41 this year. So yeah.
I wouldn't have even guessed that, and I don't think I ever asked y'all your age. So,
Yep, I'm an
right
80s
on.
baby.
Long Bones, whoop whoop. I don't know that I've seen that name. I appreciate you coming through. Evil Cook, there's a homie, whoop whoop. All Boots,
I'm
what's
seeing
up,
everybody
homie?
now.
What is up,
Whoop, whoop,
Juggalo
everybody.
Gamer? Yeah, how's it going, everybody? It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day for an interview. I appreciate y'all taking time out of this beautiful day to come hang out in this interview. Damn it! Whoa, whoa.
Whoop,
Um,
whoop.
okay,
Gotta be
yeah,
my home.
absolutely. Um, okay, so then what inspired you to start making music? What was the switch that said, "Hey, I think I can do this," or "I want to do it," and you actually started trying to apply yourself musically, or however you want to look at that?
Well, to be honest, like I've always kind of been in music, but not publicly in the music eye. Like I kind of strayed away from the stage for a long time. So ended up with stage right after I was 13. So I ended up breaking my actual stage fright at the gathering of all places. So getting getting on the gathering stage And then actually being on the stage, I was like, "Oh, yo, this is cool." The next year, after that, I ended up performing on the Gathering stage with Yaz in 2022. So
Really?
yeah,
See, that
and
was
I had to break my stage fright. So I started getting nudged, and I don't know. Do you know keto?
yeah.
Okay,
Kyle Keto.
when we started Strange JRB, he was like, "Yo, sis," he's like, "We can't put out a track without you on it. You're getting on it, right? You're gonna do it, right?" So like, then it started the recording process for me. Like, yeah, I was already kind of managing the groups and the videos and stuff like that, but it's like it became a real point for me to start doing music because I did already do it. I just didn't do it in the public eye set.
Right. And see, that's what I mean. I didn't even know. Like I think at camp y'all sat there and kind of started like spitting a little bit. I don't know if you joined in or not. But like,
That
and
was
that's when
Il
I kind
Fortune
of
and Shay and me and yeah.
yeah, okay. But
Yep.
otherwise I didn't really know that you like took it serious and then I started hearing that you're gonna actually start performing and stuff again. So that was like really cool. I don't mean to like I'm also saying like I'm sorry I didn't like get you on sooner type beat. I just I didn't know you were really taking it serious, and then I seen you start doing performances, and I had everybody already booked up, and like I really do try setting people out as far as possible just to have consistent interviews or whatever. But I'm glad that you finally came on, so that's awesome. So you've been making music then like for at least steady for a few years or kind of like giving it a
Yeah. Off
real
and on for
effort.
5 here. Um, 5 years roughly been recording off and on, and then here recently, I took another step forward into joining into Lost Tribe Artifacts, which is another label that is ran by Exo Reckless, which you probably seen down here. Yep, Lost
Right,
Tribe.
yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
we started booking shows and stuff. Like he booked a couple shows, I booked some shows, and then I still have two more in May. So I've been pushing myself to get a little bit more and more up there and be a little bit more out with it because I used to promote other people. I was a heavy
Right.
promoter. Like I was the one handing out demos. I was the one handing out flyers. I was doing all that stuff for a really long time, or just sharing the music. Now I got to learn to share my own shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you gotta, and it's good to still have love for everybody, but now you gotta build yourself up and put yourself out there, put yourself first for a minute or whatever, and hopefully that all that love you've given will reciprocate and manifest back into the pot for you. So that's amazing. Um, who do you look up to in the music industry? So who do you inspire from? Who do you just mainstream or underground? Who's kind of some of your inspirational artists that you might take some from or whatever to
there's a
create your
lot.
own?
There is a
Maybe
lot.
give us just like a top three underground and a top three on the radio.
Well, I can't really do radio. I am not a radio person. So if I have listened to the radio, it's always been more rock music. Outside of that, I am not a radio person. I have been so far underground. Like my answers are going to be a lot of the people that have performed at shows that somebody hasn't even heard of. So, like growing up as a child, I was inspired by the different bass players, I knew growing up. A few of them are gone now, but they gave me the aspect of people never really get to know the artist. Those are human beings,
Right,
that they're putting their heart into that. You grow up with that mentality and you respect that, but it takes a certain amount of oomph for people to know who you are. It really
right.
does. And I don't
It
think
might not
that
even be. Go ahead.
I don't think that I can name just a solid 6 as far as the inspirations have gone. Just over the years, I have, those songs that really hit you. Now,
Right,
in underground, Vinny Paz is a very big one for me. The lyrics that he writes, the music he puts forth, I cannot say Vinny Paz is not an inspiration. What he built with Army of Pharaohs, what he built with Jedi Mind Tricks, um, dude, it he is an inspiration. Wu Tang is another inspiration with what they built for me.
okay.
If you see Wu-Tang in its whole entirety, they have been going for years and they have endless fucking techniques at that point. Not to mention I share a birthday with Jizza. So that also
Yeah.
has impact with that. ICP, I'm gonna love them forever. It's always gonna come out. You're gonna hear that little tinge of the horrorcore come out in my music because they're there. They're up there. Dark
Right.
Lotus was another really big one for me, and all that separation. I'm like, I can't separate the artist. I still listen to everything underground. Um, I listen to Mad Child. I listen to
Mad Child's the
Slain.
shit, boy.
I'm not sure how many of y'all fuck with Slain.
I don't know if I know that name. That's what I mean. That's why I like doing these interviews because I don't be knowing people. And it's okay, folks. If you're watching this on the replay, it's okay not to know somebody, but, educate yourself. Start to learn, make your
I
music playlist a little bigger. Add somebody you don't know on that
Tech
playlist.
Nine. Here we got Tech Nine. We got Brother Lynch up here.
Boot said
Another
lost
Tech Nine.
tribe.
Hold on, we got Prozac. Prozac's another one. If you see him at a show, that is the chillest fucking dude you will ever fucking meet. Prozac is fucking amazing. He is like LSP. LSP is another one. Though when they're in the show, they're at the show with you. Those are the
Yeah,
homies. I'm
yeah.
telling you right now. They gather. Chris, Stevie Stone, another Brother Lynch, Seth's crew. Get back in this corner. It's Ritz and Prozac, but you see that one a little better.
Bro, I interviewed Rich's cousin, just for the record, just for the record. That's
We
so
got
dope.
we got some Necro, Head PE, Mayday, KMK, Twisted, and that's when Twisted was still going to Gathering. I don't know if
Okay,
y'all
so
can see
they
that.
they weren't Twizzlers yet. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
That yeah, it says July 23rd and 24th, 2015, Thornville, Ohio.
That's
You
what's
got
up.
Big B, Potluck.
We're getting a backstage VIP look at all the goodies, man.
This this
I
little
need
goodie
some
right here.
posters like y'all got. I got
This
some. I'm
came from
starting to get a
Jug Night.
collection.
This came from one of my shows. This was Jug Night. I designed this, and it's got all of our promoters on it. It's got all the artist logos on it. This show is fresh. Jug Night was fresh in Dayton. Really look
Hell
good
yeah.
with
I really wanted to try to catch some of your shows too. That sucks is how it works out with my freaking job. And then they canned me and I had to get my old job back. So now it's hours are weird. And that's why I'm trying to do as many interviews as I can too to try to, compensate and whatnot. Uh,
I go pretty
that,
heavy into the underground though, but bro, I mean like Ghetto Boys, Mob Deep, you know, yeah.
so then do you think Rev Finesse only makes horrorcore type music or do you make all kinds of music?
I can make all kinds of music, but the horrorcore sound's never going to be out of me. And that's by influence. It's always going to have that tinge of horrorcore, and you're going to hear it. It might confuse you a little bit, but you're like, yeah, I could hear the influence because you could hear people that don't rap about Juggalo shit, but you know
Right,
right then that they are a Juggalo, but they're just doing music.
right. That's what's up. Now you just mentioned you still have like two more shows that are gonna happen. My next question is, are there any current projects in the works or what's next? Are you working on any EPs, any albums? Are you really like starting to connect with people and make songs, features? Is there anything you can tell us about, little snippet of this or that that's about to be happening or anything
A
like
lot
that?
a lot of my work started off as collaboration, working with other artists, doing features and stuff like that with people and having features done in the collaborations. But I am planning on a full album. I am getting it all written. I'm gonna have it all recorded at the same time because I don't want to have like bits and pieces of like, oh, but I want to release it. No, I want to release it all together. So like
Right,
I'm just gonna
right.
record it together. But I do have some features that are coming up with other artists. EXO is one of them. EXO Reckless. Uh I don't know, there's a lot of new opportunities that I, been talking to other people about. I don't know if I want to be like, hey, before they even send me the beat, are you ready for this? Like, I'm gonna name drop you right now. Like, no, I'm gonna wait
Right,
right before I do
right.
that. But I have the show with Set the Tone. It's got Tritone and Scum as the headlining. Um, that's gonna be a dope ass show. I do Columbus, Ohio at the Summit, which is on campus. And then we have Youngstown, Ohio as well, which is at the West Side Bowl.
Boots said she got 3 shows if we count or come by what?
Yes, he's
Three
right. We
shows?
have July's show
A
on
half
July
baked
11th
brew.
at Half Baked. That one is got Mum Raw and Bio Killers heading it.
Is that
I'm
the one
not
that
sure.
he was just posting on Facebook or whatever? Like there's only
Yes.
limited spots or something, 150 spots to get in or something like that.
They can only have a so large of a crowd. So like
Right.
they have a max capacity. So once 150 tickets are gone, it's gone. Is what
Okay.
that meant. Is we city limit specs, how many people can you shove in one building?
Right, right. I get it. Absolutely. No, and I hope you guys pack it. I think that'll be really cool for you guys.
That's going to be
Um,
a real fun experience. That is a dispensary bar.
Now when you
So
oh, go ahead. I
they
didn't mean to
have
cut you off.
THC infused drinks and stuff there.
Ooh,
So I
that's what's
mean,
up.
everybody's going to love it. And there's a half pipe for skateboarders right outside where the music's going to be performed.
Yeah, I want to go break my ankles. Now I used to be able to drop in on a half pipe. I just can't do no tricks or nothing crazy. That's what's up. I seen it's gonna be hosted by Bobby and Chaz. I think is what I seen on it, and they're on
They are a
YouTube.
lot of fun.
So maybe if I don't get to go, I can at least watch a little bit of it or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you should come though. You should come. It's not that far, I promise you, if you can
What
make it.
day? What day is
July
it?
11th. July 11th. It's on a Saturday.
Oh, okay. That should possibly be possible. And that's like a month right before going home, baby. Ooh, I can't wait. This year has been like I've forced myself to start like going to concerts, even if it ain't like a big header or something. Just get out there and start seeing new artists and push myself. And
Well,
it's
our
and I'm
ticket
seeing.
costs are not like Jug, Ohio, okay? So Juggalo, Ohio prices, yeah, we're not charging that much to get in, so please hit us up. And
Yeah, right. It was a little costly, especially adding VIP to that and whatnot. But yeah, I don't mind, even putting the bill 15, $20 and then gas. I don't know the date and ain't shit for us. I
well,
don't know,
that
probably,
is in Columbus.
oh, Columbus. Well, that's still, so what, that's 3 hours, give or take. It still ain't but $40 in gas or something.
It'll be about what you did when you went to the King of
J-
Spades.
Okay, yeah. So maybe a little more
Or
than
why I say
40 bucks.
Spades, King of Clubs. Now
Right.
you're sounding dumb. King of Clubs.
Hell yeah. XO Reckless, fuck yeah, July 11th. Shit phone's gonna die. I'll catch up on this later. Appreciate you, big dog. Whoa, whoa.
Woo woo.
Um, okay, what is your favorite song that you have made so far?
Right now, it's got to be my newest release. Seems to be everybody's favorite too. Um, it's called Lullaby. It's kind of about the progression into vampirism, where you're kind of going down the dark road and realizing what you are, what you're becoming. Um, it's a dark lullaby.
Okay, yeah. And so then would that be the song that you recommend to somebody that's just finding your music, or is there a different song you think would
Yeah,
be more
absolutely.
catching? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Like I'm always gonna probably recommend my last song.
Yeah.
Like
um.
it's there.
Right. Realistically, where do you see yourself or hope to see yourself in 5 years in the music industry? Do you hope to be signed? Do you hope to have your own label? Will you still just be underground making tracks? Do you, want to have your own LLC? Just what's your 5 year plan? Is it going to be just a little side hobby, or are you going to be living off of it? Like, what's the goal in 5 years?
Well,
If I bring you back on, what are you gonna
I don't.
tell me?
What I'm gonna do is gonna do my best and just like produce the music and see where the music takes me at that point. I'm kind of going with the wind at this point. I
Okay,
had no idea I'd be doing this 5 years ago. None. That
fair.
was some I didn't expect it. So to say in 5 years what I could be doing or couldn't be doing, like I'm gonna do what, feels right. As long as it feels
Right,
right to
right,
move forward with something, great. I'm not gonna sign with somebody if I feel like it's not gonna benefit me. And I don't
right,
mean in a
right.
selfish manner. I mean just as a human being. Like, am I gonna be able to sustain doing that?
Yeah, no, it's got to make sense. I mean, for all parties in that sense, but you got to look out for you. You number one, So, absolutely. Um, okay. If not music, then what? What would you be doing? Is there a side hobby, a side passion? Would you just be punching in at the 9 to 5 job, or what would you be doing if you wasn't doing music?
I am a walking jack of all trades. So I'm an artist all the way around. Um, I went to art college at 12 years old and was going there on weekends every Saturday. And then up until I was 17 years old, I was going to CC80 here in Columbus. My
Okay.
primary life goal was to be involved in art somehow. And as long as that was obtained, I'm happy. But I've done graphic design. I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I have an associate's in graphic design. Um, I also have a digital design diplomacy, and I sit in my junior level in my bachelor's in advertising. But I'm not doing shit with that right now. Not
How
shit.
dare you?
I mean,
Actually, really, how dare you? Like, do you? I guess I could backstep to a different question, but like, do you? Is the idea like I don't? Once again, I don't know. Do you have an album out yet, or you're working on an album? And are you going to start doing your own album covers? Because I know you also do like canvas art and stuff like that. You just mentioned some of that in the
I
digital art aspect too. Like, are you doing all of your stuff on your own? Or you outsourcing or?
okay, so what I'm not doing on my own is sound engineering or mixing down. That's not me. I'm not making my own beats. So outside of that, yes.
So you're like
Everything
gonna start doing your own like album covers and
I already have. All my album covers I did.
okay, hell yes. I just wanted to point that out because like as I'm asking you, well, what else would you be doing? Like, yeah, I knew that you done art, and I was curious how that was gonna take play. And with that said, too, have you already started making any merch or any kind of ideas brewing, or do you have a? Well, that's an. I'll
Well,
save that other part of that, but yeah.
I actually have stepped aside from the idea of getting regular merch for the most part right now. And I think I'm going with the taking my paintings my shows with me because that's going to be one of a kind items each time that goes to somebody and gives, if they appreciate my work, I want it to be there. Just like the
Right.
painting from the Tom Woods battle, is with Ill Fortune, and Ill Fortune produced most of my beats. So
Yeah, yeah,
there's a piece of me hanging in his home. That meant more, you know. So
that's
I think
cool.
different pieces of art I'm going to take with me as merch until people ask for other merch. But
Right,
I feel like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to probably do wristbands, maybe hat pins with different art pieces in them, shit like
right,
that.
right. I got you. Okay. That's cool. So there definitely would probably be another outlet there anyhow. If music don't work out or whatever, obviously you still gonna be a jug. You still gonna be gathering, attending concerts and whatnot. But like if it didn't work out for you, you'd probably just be working or doing a normal whatever. Or you think you would
Well,
pursue like art a little more or something?
that's defining working out. Like when you say it's not going to work out, am I going to be a full-time rap artist?
Right, right.
Is that
I
the
guess
number one thing
that's
on the list,
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's not the pinnacle for everybody, but most people that get into it would like to, make a living on it or at least pay a bill with it or something.
Oh yeah, I mean
So,
that's nice, but to what extent, you know? So when I
really,
see things
really,
working out, things are just going good. So every day is taken care of, bills are paid, that type of shit. It's working out. That's when I know
okay.
it's working out.
Yeah, yeah, no, I like your contrast on that kind of like, well, what do you mean? No, yeah, it's perception. It's what we make of it and how we, what you define as your success, and that's exactly it. So I can appreciate that. Um, what did you want to be as a kid, though? Was it a singer or an artist or maybe a princess?
When I was little, both. I wanted to be a
Yeah,
singer, but when I realized I started doing stuff in my teenage years, like I don't like the stage. So
right,
I
right.
thought that I wanted to be center of attention, but I really was like, oh, there's a nice little corner over there. I'm gonna sit in it and I'm gonna watch everything.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Um,
I was a mosher when I first started going to concert. It's wore its time on me. I can't mosh anymore. So
so as the homie Cheesy likes to point out, because she knows, believe it or not, I wanted to be a cop for a short period of time in my life, and that lasted until I was like 7, and that faded. But so I always like to ask the artists what they want it to be, especially when it's a juggalo or whatever. I'm just curious on the answers and whatnot. And believe it or not, I've done 102. You make 103, my 103rd interview, and not too many people were like, "Yeah, I knew I wanted to be an artist as a kid." So it's kind of cool to see that how many people are like, "I knew from the beginning," and then some people are like, "No, I didn't even think nothing about it until one day blank happened," and then da 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 or
being an
whatever.
artist, though, being a successful artist, there is the term starving artist for a reason. Because you all
Right.
in your first steps, everybody, me included, you struggle in every first step of any fucking thing. And if you don't like, hey, pick yourself back up and you keep going on that path ain't meant for you.
Right, right. You're fighting it the whole time. Yeah.
I've been fighting against not doing it, and then I end up doing it, and I still keep going forward with it. I'm like, oh shit! But
What am I doing? Okay, why not? No.
like it's working.
That's
Not
that's
trying for
cool.
it, but
No, that's awesome. Have you since getting back at it? Well, firstly, is this your these last couple shows? Is that like your first real like shows, like going and performing? I know you just said a minute
performing.
ago you did kind of do something at the gathering, which is actually going to lead to my next question. But was those shows like I don't know? Me saying it now sounds weird. Have you done shows
No.
before?
Well, see, here's the thing. Right before the new year, I went up on stage at the summit, and couldn't have been a better crowd for me to go up on stage for one of my first shows, and did side verses basically. Ones I did collaborations with other people, like Boy. He was up there with
Right.
me. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I need to be doing this. And I started making, this just happened. I'm like, I even getting on shows and making it happen. I'm like, that was a nudge, you know? That was one of those other nudges that I was like, okay, I need to be doing this. But I don't know. Thank
No,
you.
yeah, that's dope. I was gonna ask you if like so like was you nervous? Was it comfortable? Was it natural for you like the fill in or
Ev- Every time has, gotten better. Um, I don't know. The last show had some awkward energy for me, but there was hardly anybody there. So I can't
yeah,
really say too much about that. But being here in my home area, all the familiar faces, it made it easier on me too to kind of let it go because it's like
right,
I know most of those faces, even if I don't know them on a personal level. I have seen them at shows so many damn times.
right.
Should be okay at that point, right?
Makes it a little better anyhow. So then you said you have played The Gathering. The question actually goes as follows: have you played The Gathering of the Juggalos and or been to, and if so, how many times on both accords? So how many times have you gathered, and if you've played at The Gathering, how many times have you done that?
Well, up until this year, 4 gatherings, one performance at the gatherings, and that was 2022, the Gathering of Dreams that I performed at. That was with
Hell
the
yeah!
Oz Cahope. He also brought up, let me bring Strange Jeremy people up on the stage with me. I told him, I
Hush.
was like, if I'm going to perform, being my big, on a big stage like this, like I need my family up here with me. I'm like, I'm bringing people up here with me. You cool with that? And he's like, yeah. He's like, if it'll help, because he was determined to break my stage fright. He did
Yeah,
it. He did it. He was
that's what's
determined to do
up.
it. But
Salute to that person.
we had Tito up there on the stage with us. King Wicked was up on the stage. We had a lot of our crew from camp come up on the stage.
Hell yeah. Keto, I was hoping he was going to show up that year I met you guys. I had been talking to him like the whole prior year on TikTok, and I didn't know how involved he was with y'all until after the fact. And obviously, I interviewed him already. That was dope or whatever. I hope he shows up this year or whatever. Keto is a really dope dude, and it'd be cool to actually meet him in person. Um, and
He's one
I'm
of the
glad that,
strange JRB founders. I'll tell you that. We have conflicted genetics, which
yeah.
myself and Keto are the main foundation of Strange JRB. We're the ones that pretty much kicked it off.
Absolutely. Um, if you, sorry, if you could collaborate with any artist, mainstream or underground, who would you want to collaborate with?
One of the biggest flexes still is going to be Vinny Paz. He is entirely difficult to collab with. Like, if he doesn't like your work, he won't collaborate with you.
Yeah.
So there's no real price tag he's going to give you. If he likes your work, he's going to vary on what he's going to give you price tag wise. So yeah, Vinny Paz is a flex. That would be one of them.
Right. Um, By the way, I just wanted to say I noticed that I haven't said it yet. People in the chat, y'all are hanging out and whatnot. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and start dropping them in the chat as well, and I will pull up your questions in between my questions that I am asking her. The whole point is for y'all to get to know her as well, not just me. So, and obviously some of you personally know her that are in the chat, so you could just throw something that would be a fun thing that you know that maybe other people don't know that she would answer something of that kind of nature too. It makes it really fun. Um, Anywho, to continue, okay, so this question is very weird for me, and I put it on there because my example I feel explains it makes it not sound as ignorant. But it sounds ignorant because like you're an artist. We're artists. Well, I'm not an artist, but you guys are artists. We're all jugs, and we go to concerts and the gathering, and we run into artists and get VIPs and stuff like that. But I still like to ask. So like, have you met anyone famous to you? And like, obviously, I met the clowns that year last year, and I'll never forget that now to the day I die. I've met Ouija, a handful of times. Walking around the gathering, running into people like Insane Poetry, Scum, Darby, seeing artists or whatnot. But I like to also use as my answer. I have met Polly Shore. So,
Holly
have you
Shore
met
is pretty
any?
funny.
Right? Have you met
Right.
anyone famous to you?
Oh yeah, but trying to ramble out the list.
Oh yeah. Nah, I mean,
um,
again, you can give a few. You ain't got to list them
I
all.
did meet the clowns twice. I had two different VIPs at two different gatherings. Never paid for VIPs otherwise, you know. Most of the time I've met somebody, it's been by chance or at one of their signings or something like that. Boondocks, he
Hell yeah.
we went to the South of Hell tour. His signing for that. Boondocks held my son when he was just a baby. He looked like he was going to break him. So my son could always tell everybody he was a juggalo since he was a baby.
Hell
You got
yeah.
Boondocks holding you in a picture. Um, oh hell, there's been so many people though that are considered famous even in the underground that I can't even sit here and name. There was
Right,
Jared
right.
from Head PE. That's one of them. That not a lot of people can say that they know him personally. I mean, I know there's certain people that I know that could probably flex that too, but
Right, right, right.
sure,
No, that's
sure,
cool.
yeah. I've
What
still not talked to Twisted up front and personal.
Boots said kung fu.
Yep, Kung Fu Vampire met him.
Yeah, I haven't met him. I
Shay
haven't
was
even
with
seen
me.
him perform. Fuck
Shay
Shay,
was with
where's
me
he
on
at,
the second
motherfucker?
on the
Shay, you
second try.
motherfucker, start making your music. I'm sorry, I gotta
So
hate on
I
him.
met
Plus,
Kung
he's probably at
Fu
work.
in 2010, and then I seen him again at Gathering, and Shay was with me in the picture. So
That's what's up. That's dope as shit. He's probably at work right now or sleeping or some shit. I just be getting on to him. He needs to come on with it too. Uh, what's your favorite color?
purple.
All right,
I'm a big
mine's
purple
red.
person.
That's my mom's favorite color. That's why this one dread, it has her hair in it, is purple. Well, now it's kind of faded up to pink. I'm about to re-dye it again, but yeah, I love it. Purple looks good. It's just I like red better.
I don't have anything
What
against
is
other colors, but I
uh,
purple's just my number one. Black's the number two.
absolutely. Red and black. And well, purple probably be third. And like burnt orange. I like that. That's like a real different color.
You like the
What
hot
is
colors.
right? What is your favorite domesticated animal and your favorite wild type animal?
Well, I love talking birds, but I'm also a big reptile person. So that's domesticated still. So I'm
Blue, bleep, blah. I think we might.
you there?
Wait,
You
yeah,
there?
I just don't. Your can't. There it goes. It came back. It started to kind of freeze for a minute.
Yeah,
You're
I
good.
was watching it. That's why I was like, what do I do? But I had a reptile rescue out of my home for from 2005 to 2007, and I had tons of iguanas, and I had bearded dragons. I had roseput tarantulas. I had two alligators. Um, I had all kinds of animals running around at that point. I had trees going up my dining room for them to
You
climb
had
on.
alligators? That's crazy. I ain't
I
keeping no
had two
alligator.
alligators. Yeah,
You fucking crazy woman.
they were
I'm
both under 5.
I like snakes. I got snakes, and I've kept parrots too and stuff like that. So I feel you on that. I don't know about no damn alligator or caiman. It's you crazy man. But they're cool. I respect them anyhow. Uh,
And as far as doggies go, I love bully breeds.
yeah,
Like the
yeah.
mastiffs and bulldogs and
So
Sharpays.
even though you kept an alligator and people would say that's a wild animal, what's your favorite wild type animal though?
Wolves, lions, and crows. Well,
Rose
ravens,
up. If Ruby was in here, she'd be
blackbirds,
loving that. That's awesome.
blackbirds. Yeah.
Mine would be a white tiger, just because they're not supposed to exist, and they'll lure you in, and then they'll kill you. That's it. There's no gray area. They're gonna kill you, and they're powerful and beautiful creatures, and they're mesmerizing. So yeah, I like white tigers and domesticated. Even though I have all those other animals, I would agree. Dogs and pit bulls specifically. Anyhow, um, let's see here. Being in the underground scene, how do you try to separate yourself from other artists?
I try to just be myself as much as possible because that means that I'm not copying anyone.
Right, right.
As long as I'm 100% original with everything that I do, I can keep myself separate from other people.
Your best dream? Sorry, I'm seeing a comment in the chat. I'm not even sure who it is. Is that ain't why not? Your best dream? Shout out the homie Wiggle sucks. IHP. Hope she's okay. Okay. Um, sorry, my fault. I do some freaky content. Panda the Clown. I have no idea what y'all are talking about, but just go ahead, keep talking. My bad. And yes, I do believe staying original to yourself and not trying to mimic a gimmick to get a notice or an attraction just because it's working for somebody else don't mean like it's gonna work for you. And I think it could even hurt you if you are not careful. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people can do the same similar style of a thing or a whatever, but there's still a difference, and especially if you're true to you. And I also like to say I think even if you like fall short on like maybe like vocally or something, if you got a good stage presence or something of that nature, it can help carry and pick up where you fall short. So yeah, just staying true to yourself is probably the best outlet. And again, folks, I'm not an artist, but I do attend a lot of concerts, and that's the whole bit. So that's my 2 cents on it. Uh,
I have I can concur on that. I've been to a lot of shows over the years.
right. I'll be live later, y'all. Panda the torture clown. That's what's up. What music did your parents listen to, and do you think it played any effect on what type of music you listen to and obviously make?
Well, I mean, both of them listen to a lot of rock music, rock and roll, dance stuff, just kind of party music. Um, I don't know, they're a fun couple. Their song was Wild Thing. By
Okay.
the real old one, Wild Thing. Da, 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 da.
Right.
That was my parents' song, their wedding song. So I mean,
That's dope. That is dope as shit. My mom listened, she was a Bible thumper like my whole life on and off. Like she never really got through to me so much, but she born again, stopped, then believe I don't know. So it was like mainly not that she forced us to listen to like Christian music or whatever, but it was definitely like country and rock and she didn't really. The only time my mom let us willingly listen to rap is when she was driving and she needed to stay awake, and she'd be like, "Sean, you can turn your music on," and I'd turn on some hip hop or something like that or whatever.
my
So
mom did listen to some hip hop in the 90s. Like I can't default that. Like she quit after a certain point accepting new music because she couldn't remember it. but I'm the reason why my mom was singing Rob Zombie, Dragula going through a store, people staring at her like, what is this woman doing? And she's like singing, like, like,
Yeah.
but my
Yeah,
mom,
that's
she listened to like those old party songs like The Dip. Do you remember the song The Dip?
like I dip, you dip, I dip. That
Yep,
dip.
that one. Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's that
She got like
shit,
digital.
boy.
She listened to some digital underground. So what was his name? Freak Nasty. Do you know that song?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I put my
Like so
hand up
she
on you.
some salt and pepper. Like that
Yeah,
was like some of the stuff my mom would listen to, and that's because my siblings rubbed off on her first. But
Sir Mix-a-Lot and shit.
she listened to a lot
Sneaking.
of both my parents listened to a lot of like Pink Floyd, Bad Company, Leonard Skinner, CCR, The Doors. I don't know if I said that one. Like, but there's a lot of different ones, like
Some good rock music. That's what
the
I'm hearing.
Animals. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't get that privilege too much. A little. My mom would let us listen to rock or whatever, but that wasn't. I don't even think. I guess she listened to like Meatloaf, REO Speedwagon, which was all right. Country though, that was my main like shove in my face type beat. That's why I think I despise it so much. The next question on the list is, do you have any siblings and do they support your music at all?
Yes, I have two older siblings. Um, I shouldn't even say the age gap, but my sister's was old enough to babysit me when I was born. I'll say that, but I'm not going to give her age out for her because she'd kill me. She's not. She's one of those 29 and holding chicks. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
both my siblings are Gen Xers. I'm technically right at the beginning of millennial.
Right.
So my sister shares my music. She's got a few neighbors she found out that were juggalos. She shares it to them all the time. Like, my
That's
uh
awesome.
my brother just started making beats and he does share my music too, but he's down in Florida.
Sorry, I'm trying to be fancy. I have a bigger screen. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Now my brother doesn't care. He's 7 years older than me, so
Yeah. No, that's I've had plenty of artists come up here and say their siblings know they make music and they don't like pay it no mind, don't give them no like recognition or whatever. And then I've had some come up here and say like if they get like some kind of a shout out or recognition from like a big artist, they'll be like, yeah, whoop whoop, whatever, but they still ain't bumping their music. And then there's some artists that their siblings, family members definitely dive in, head first or whatever and support them. I just like to see the demographic. I don't like how this is. It's all weird and stuff. Sorry.
I think some of
But
my lyrics are too fast for my mother though, because she's
yeah.
like, uh-huh.
Right, right. Listen, my mom would not listen to music if I tried to make it. I don't believe she would anyhow. She's watched some of my videos. She's even hopped in my live streams. Mom, if somehow you see this one, I love you. But yeah, no. She like so my real quick briefly, my intro to ICP back when I was, 11, 12 was my cousin Lindsay coming to move in with us briefly. And when he showed up at our house, his hair was spider braided and he had a great Malenko jersey on or whatever. And me and my homies thought he was just crazy as fuck, but we loved it. You know what I'm saying? And we dove right in. He lit us on and whatever. And my mom despised the shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? Type beat for like the longest, but she realized she wasn't stopping it, and it was kind of just a natural and an outlet for me and her weird kids. So I think there was like an understanding, at least from my mom, even though she didn't agree with it at all. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I just seen EXO Reckless say his first concert was Fleetwood Mac without Stevie. My first concert was John Mellencamp that I
no
can remember.
shit.
Yes.
Mine was Def Leppard when they had their one-armed drummer. And that was by chance. My older siblings, my brother and my sister, got tickets, and them and a bunch of friends were supposed to be going. And one of the friends backed out or whatever. So then they just had this ticket that was gonna go to waste, and they decided to take me. I think I was like, I don't know, probably 9 or something like that. And it was pretty dope though, really. I wish I was older to be able to appreciate it more, but looking back now, I'm glad I got that experience.
Yeah, that's why the gathering in 2021 was so freaking monumental to me because I never thought I was going to see Vanilla Ice. And that year I got to see Vanilla Ice in 2021 at Gathering. I was like, I never thought I was going to see him perform because I was so little when his music came out. Like it was I
Listen, that's what's so well. That's just one of the many reasons why the Gathering is so great. Like you really get that opportunity to potentially see somebody you otherwise might not have because like you can't travel across the world. You can't freaking travel across the United States. You just can't. It's not feasible. It's not in your cards or whatever. But
well back then I
they get them
definitely needed
there.
an adult, okay? At 89, I think I was in kindergarten. I just started kindergarten, I think. I wasn't
Right.
going to see that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that too.
They had to take me for that.
That's, yeah, there's also that factor, you know.
Be packing my
Um,
lunchbox and crayons going to see Vanilla.
yeah. Yeah. Ice baby. Dude, that's that shit. Yeah, and even for me, last year, I didn't expect to get to see Bleed. That was crazy, and he embraced me and everything like that. That was dope as shit. So, yeah. Uh, okay, so if you met the younger version of yourself, say 12, 13 years old, if you could give yourself any advice, would you? And if so, what would you say, if anything at all?
I would have told myself, stay away from guys until you're established.
Hey, hey, that's real. I think that's for both genders, to be honest. We jump in too quick, too quick. It ain't even one gender or the other. Humans are toxic. We're toxic to each other until we finally get that maturity. And some people, it takes longer to hit that point. You know, we're
And
always learning.
I don't mean friends. I mean dating. Like I just should have had my shit together first.
Right, right, right. Um, do you? And I asked a question that kind of was similar to this. Earlier, but not necessarily on this level. Do you think the skill came natural or you had to work and practice at it? So some people they say are born with a given talent, and then other people are equally competitive. You know, they have to practice and learn and keep doing it, but they're equally competitive in that sport or that thing or that hobby or whatever. Do you think it came more natural once you started doing it, or it was definitely a learning curve and then you have to apply yourself and just keep growing at it?
Well, I mean, I was heavy into music. Like I spent 11 years in choir, so picking out beats wasn't as big of a problem for me. I was also in orchestra. I played the bass in orchestra. Um, but the I was more vocals that I did back then, than the rapping itself. So at times, yeah, I've rapped over the years the different things that I've loved, different favorite songs, and you kind of learn different roles of the punches. And
Right,
most of the
right.
time when you listen to a lot of people's music, you'll hear it naturally, just little bits and pieces of how a style, kind of combines with different things. And it's kind of inspirational to even hear that out of artists. But I feel like if you have a natural ability, you can make it happen. And it does take some practice to perfect it. I don't think
Right.
everybody nails something off the top of their head unless they're doing it every day, all day.
Absolutely. You're always learning your craft, bettering yourself,
Mhm.
learning different things about it or whatever. So sorry, I agree that's a good answer. The next question, I this is the one that I started to kind of digging and then I backed off because of this question or whatever, which is it's kind of like a three-part Dilly. Who or what inspired slash came up with your stage name, Rev Finesse? And do you then have you created you a logo at least that is identifiably you? So if it's on a hat, on a shirt, on a something, people know that's a Rev Finesse. And
Well,
so yeah.
there's two definite logos, and one is my name. The other one is what I helped build, and that was Strange Jeremy. I created both of the logos, but Strange Jeremy as a collaborative of people, people know us as a group, but when it always comes back around the door, everybody's like, she started this shit.
Right.
They know who to
Right.
point the finger at if somebody's mad. So
Right. So
just
then you
point
run with
that out.
that logo with your name
Yeah.
included pretty much.
Yeah, they go hand in hand. They do.
Yeah,
And then,
absolutely.
I feel like the record labels and who works with us are just equally as important. They really are. So keeping those involved in, either mentioning a name or putting in the logos or, just promoting who's helped you grow is important too.
Absolutely. Shouting out all the people that's actually had your back and been there and kind of make it all possible or whatever.
But I
And
mean,
in
it's
fact, we'll get to that point where you'll actually be able to do that very thing, or you could even do it now. Shout out the the people that you work with. By all means, give them their credit that you do and whatnot as well. Um, I agree that that's very important because people lose themselves in the whole like I'm gonna get famous, I'm gonna get big, and there's people behind the scenes that don't get recognition for their part and whatnot. So yeah,
my husband is very supportive in what I do. Boots, everybody knows Boots, I'm sure. Spencer Howard, very, very supportive, and encouraging and helping things go along smoothly. Conflicted and his girl Rebecca have been great supporters here as of recently, especially. But Conflicted's been there for 6 years now, behind the scenes, and he should be doing music, but he's not. So I just want to point that out, just kind of like Shay, not wanting to, go into the booth, type stuff. But
yeah, conflicted.
XMV,
You're holding out on me, homie.
XMV, they're really big on excuse me, he's really big. 'Cause I want to say they because it says productions because it feels like there's going to be
Right.
more in that, but it's X Knowledge. He is been around since 2020. He made the Strange JRB beat. That was like a Suicide Boys type beat with me and him and Hearst. Still a strong foundation there with, Strange JRB. Hearst Boy, of course. Fucking
Hell
proud of that
yeah,
motherfucker. No matter
dude.
how many shows he's doing, he's gonna bring it back even harder when you guys hear him come back. Um, Fucking love that we adopted that motherfucker right there. But
Yeah. I wouldn't have known him if it
um,
wasn't for y'all. Well, I feel like eventually I would have found his music, but like y'all definitely gave me that like direct insight to hers, and I kind of fell head over heels for him too. Type beat like his shit was dope. I really resonated with it. So
we
and
got
he go
Nolid,
ahead.
Nolid from Strange Jeremy. That motherfucker is solid. He's been solid. He needs to be performing. He is doing music, but he needs to be performing. I'm gonna tell everybody that he's down there in North Carolina. So if we can get some shows in North Carolina, I'm not happy nudging y'all. I'll be like, look, you gotta put him on there.
Right. Anybody watching this? You have connections in where you said New Orleans? You said or where
No,
did you
he's in
say?
North Carolina. He's in
North
North Carolina.
Carolina. My fault. Yeah, anybody in North Carolina with some contacts, hit us up. Uh, that's cool. Absolutely.
Um,
Um,
but not to get sidetracked, I do want to tell you. You asked me where my name came from.
yeah, that's the other part.
So Rev, it started out with my ordination. So I got ordained with the state to be able to perform marriages for people. Didn't like the idea that people were like they had to go to a church or they had to go to a specific place or they had to convert. If their ideals
Right.
or didn't match up with the church or whatever, they're like, no, you're not getting married, or they have to go to a courthouse. So I did that for more personal reasons for people. But I also was in Lotus Ministries in 2009 to, I mean, might as well say we stopped doing it by 2012. So
What
at
was
that point,
that? You said
Lotus
Lotus
Ministries,
Ministries? What is it? You got
we
twisted praying to Jeebus?
we had 5 different denominations is what I'm gonna say, because we had paganism mixed with Buddhism, mixed with heathenism, mixed with
Okay, I
Christianity,
like this.
mixed
Yeah,
mixed with Native American, and also we had a Wiccan in there. We had everything at the time to kind of help people because a lot of people were going through something at that
right,
time.
right.
And we'd all end up going to like the food pantry and stuff like that. And then I'd cook out my back door. I was feeding ninjas out my back door at the time.
That's dope.
Every my son grew up around so many juggalos that I mean he hasn't seen some of them in a while. Like he just seen one recently that used to come over and hang out, and that was carrying him when he was just a baby.
Right,
And
right.
she's looking at him like, "Oh my god, like, you're huge."
I'm down sprouted. No,
But
that's
that's where Rev
beautiful.
came from, because originally before Rev, I was going by Pinup Juggalette because I used to do the Victorian rolls and stuff in my hair for a while.
Yeah.
So that changed after time, and Rev stuck.
Okay.
And finesse came from a person that I was close to that I had been seeing after my separation with my kids' dad that passed away at my home. So he was in recovery for about a year, and he ended up passing away of gastrointestinal hemorrhaging. So he bled out. But
Oh,
the one thing that he wanted to do this music scene too, like he pushed for some of that. He's very funny. He was into the music scene real heavy. He had like I think 16 or 17 gatherings under his belt.
no
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah. He but he passed away in 2017. And he used to tell me all the time, "You have finesse. You finesse everything." It was finesse. So it just kind of stuck out that if I
When
carry that, like, it's not only as a description of how I kind of move, but at the same time, it came from somebody that would be happy to see me doing this shit.
absolutely. That's beautiful, and I'm sorry for the loss of this person. Obviously, I
You
didn't
you
know him
met his
like that.
son. You met his
I
son,
did?
Damien.
Oh, no kidding.
That's his son. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I'm
That's
I'm still stepmom.
yeah, yeah, that's
Don't you don't give up on kids.
wow. That's awesome. Well, I mean, not that that you stay, connected. Yeah. Wow. If, what's your favorite movie?
What kind of movie though?
Okay. You can give us one in each, or at least horror and comedy. I just have a
All
go-to
four?
movie. So if you would have just asked me that on the spot, I'm gonna say Blow with Johnny Depp because when I was a kid, I watched it a million times, and that's not an exaggeration. VHS, I could sit there and press play, and when it got to the end, hit stop, rewind, listen for a minute, play, and just watch it. And I don't. It's weird because when it like came out or I found it, I was like 14. How am I relating to this movie? Why am I relating to it? The part at the end when he makes a promise to his kid, and like I felt that and I was mad at him for doing that. I'm like, no, why the fuck would you do that? Don't swear on her life. And he does, and then he fucks up. He gets caught, and like I don't know, maybe because my father was absent in my life or whatever the case may be. But like, so that's my go-to movie. But I'm sure, like, I don't know. I couldn't pick a favorite comedy movie because I like so many comedian like actors and stuff like that. That one would be kind of hard. But so if you
Adam
can
Sandler
pick
is one of my favorites. Adam
exactly, that's who
Sandler.
was rolling through my head.
So I mean that
But
was always a big go-to, over the years. But as far as horror flicks, I used to collect them. So I had a ton of horror movies over the course of time. And then I started collecting kids shit because I had kids. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, like the older stuff like the Goonies and the Labyrinth, and
The Labyrinth, that's the
Alice,
shit, boy.
Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, stuff like that. That was the kind of kid I was when I was young. Um, 13 Ghosts is a really good one because it was one of the few that actually surprised me. And I mean, like getting me to react when it comes to horror flicks, like it got me at one point. I'm like, oh shit. So it's like I have to always put that at the top of the list, even though it was newer to me. Good old David Bowie. Yeah. He said something about nostalgia the other night, and I put on the Labyrinth. Where did you go?
I disappeared, I guess. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
That's
can hear
weird.
you, but I can't see you.
I don't know how. I just made. That's so weird. I gave you main screen, maybe. Um, exit solo
You
layout.
mainstreamed me.
Oh,
He mainstreamed
wow!
me.
I just learned
Oh,
that I could do that. I don't even know. Make you the main screen. I ain't even got to be on screen. That's a new
man, that
thing. My
makes me
fault.
feel like I'm talking to myself. I need to see you, bro.
Oh, okay. I'm your
Sitting here
conscience,
holding the
don't you know?
conversation down.
uh, yeah. And I think he saying David Bowie because of the Labyrinth. I'm guessing because that was that
Yes.
shit, boy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I just made him
Uh,
watch it the other night. So,
so dude, that's that shit.
no, I'm
Ooh,
just a worm.
no. Yeah, yeah. Did you say hello? No, I said hello. I need to start a cult of your best dream. Okay, do that. I guess. I'm guessing you're him, but I don't know. At any rate, so yeah, I would say if I picked a horror movie that actually got the best of me, but I watched it when I was young, was like Jeepers Creepers, the first one.
I
That
love
fucked me up.
those.
And then,
I love
seeing
those
those big
too.
old trucks when you're on a country road, you would instantly be like, nah, it's just a movie. But then you're like wondering and shit. Like, that was that shit, though.
I
Obviously, I like
actually
the Chuck.
inserted that sound clip into one of my shows. So right before a song
Yeah.
started, it was Jeepers Creepers.
Where did you get those papers? Yeah, this that shit. Where did you get them eyes? Wayne, chill out. But yeah, and then the whole Chucky series pretty dope. If Evil Cook was still in here, he'd probably be geeking about that because I know he likes Chucky. Uh, man, yeah, I could probably go on picking comedy, but I agree. Adam Sandler is a good go-to, and then Johnny Depp. I just like a lot of his movies that he's in. It's serious, funny, whatever. He's a good actor or whatever. Um, so outside of horrorcore, just when you're trying to zen, when you're not making music, what type of music are you listening to generally? Or is it just always horrorcore or something
It's
like that?
always underground. I'm
Yeah,
most of the time I'm listening to either my favorite underground rappers or even the local ones, just trying to get a feel for them. But at the same time here recently I've slowed down on listening to new stuff. And it's not being because I'm being selective. There's just so much of it right now. And I can't keep up. And if I'm trying to write music, I don't want to accidentally,
still or
blow the
in person, right?
blow the
Yeah,
thought off or anything. So I'm very careful doing that. So there's times where I have to just shut it off. I'll put my own stuff on. That way I can rehearse it too, just to keep it fresh on my brain. And then I'll turn it right back off and go, into something older that's already there. Because I'm like, it's an influence anyways. The old stuff.
right.
It's the influence, the mindset,
Absolutely. Um, so we have got into my game questions, and in fact, I do have one more question that's a straightforward question because I know if my old lady was able to be in here, if we're catching her at work. She was here at the beginning though. She did at least drop a couple comments, and then I'm surprised she didn't drop that question ahead of time. But she always asks the question, if you could be an animal or a fictional character, what would it be? Because when she ain't got commissions going on and she ain't doing her personal digital art projects, sometimes she'll grab one of my artists and start to, do some shit. She done something for Clockwork E recently. She done the Ouija thing that he shared all over his socials and stuff like that. So occasionally she will be like, what's one of the artists that da 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 da, and then she'll go back or whatever. So again, if you could be an animal or a fictional character, anything sci-fi, whatever, what would you be?
I mean, it seems like every time I'm doing D&D, I go into the elf spectrum.
Okay, some
So
kind
it's
of
always
dope elf.
yeah. I don't know
Okay.
what that is, kind of the witchy characters, but, still pretty much good on the good side of it. I'm not, becoming a villain, but
Right, right. She's a light elf, not a dark elf. And remember, her favorite color is purple, so maybe you can tie that into it too. And well, what did you say your favorite animals was?
a wolf, a lion, and blackbirds. So a
Bam.
crow or a raven.
Right, there's you some ideas, Nicole. Um, so with that said, we jump into my little game questions here. Also, we're just past an hour and 10 minutes or whatever. So there's a little ETA on that. This don't take but like 10 minutes, and then I got another one question, and then I got three fill in the blank questions. If you guys are in here right now in the chat, please, if you have questions, throw them up, and we'll also ask those as well. But we are going to jump into these game questions, and like I said, it's either or, so I'm going to give you a couple options. If neither of them, fit your fancy, I guess you can say neither, or sub an alternative answer to them, but typically play along. Don't be
Say
a party
either
pooper.
or nowhere or what? What is it now?
It's technically it's either or sub an option. How about that? Because I list two, like I give two choices, and I usually ask you to just pick from them. But if for whatever
Okay,
reason you're like neither, well then maybe give us an alternative to that type beat.
gotcha.
Um, and your old man, hey, that one comes kind of close to the other questions, Boots. But this one, I guess we'll ask right now. What weapon would you choose for a zombie apocalypse?
So usually I'm going for any type of blades that are sharp. I can't really say which one's going to be at arm's length at that point, but I'm happy with any of them at that point. I need some sharp,
Right. Give me a
stabby.
katana or something. I'll pickaxe somebody to death, boy. Let's go.
Yeah,
Wah!
yeah. Maybe even get the
That's,
Negan back.
yeah, yeah. All right. So your first either or is Twix or Reese's.
Reese's for
All
sure.
right. Summer or winter.
Summer,
Okay. Day or night.
night,
Yeah, that's me. I'm not a morning person for nothing. I'm more of a night owl. Like I function
very
better
nocturnal.
after afternoon. Yeah. Uh, Truck or car.
SUV
There you go. And get the best of both
because
worlds.
I need to have a bigger vehicle most of the time. So
Right, right. And you can still haul something, but it might not be as much as a truck or, yeah. Um, all right, you and it's funny because I know you both. So this this one's kind of funny. You and Boots are going out on a date. Are you going for a movie night or roller skating?
I'm not getting him on roller skates. We're going to the movies.
But you gotta Boots put on them skates, boy. That's that shit.
He's giving me a look right now. Ah. I might take my kids roller skating, but
right, right.
Me how to be balanced on the mothers.
That's awesome. uh, and this one's kind of ironic too, because of where Boots works. But pizza or pasta?
Oh gosh, both.
Both. I guess that's fair.
Maybe
Yeah, I
make some
like.
pepperoni and cheese pasta. I mean,
Man, right. Uh, okay, the next two are like for your fans. Which are you most active on, Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
And then TikTok or Twitter X, formerly Twitter.
Considering I don't have a Twitter, it would have to be TikTok.
All right, yeah. Um, sorry, excuse me. Pepsi products or Coke products?
Both, but not Pepsi. So like I'll drink Coke, but I won't drink Pepsi. And I'll drink
Right,
Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper is neither.
right. I feel you. I feel you on that. And if it has to be a Fago, what's your go-to?
If I can find it, the candy apple. Other than that,
Ooh.
we go fireworks and cotton candy. I'm trying to go in order here. The new ones are okay. I
You
don't
got
like
to
the new
try
Super
them?
Pop. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah, I
Super Pop.
haven't.
The bubblegum one is good. It's just kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Um,
I seen somebody dump it over like that I don't know, I want to call it like it's not ice cream, it's what do you call that other shit?
are you talking about the
It's
dreamsicle?
sherbet. It's like some sherbet shit, and no, they dumped the bubblegum soda on top of like to make like kind of like a float over like some sherbet, but it's like the rainbow flavored looking ice cream sherbet stuff or whatever. And they said that was pretty dope, but I don't know. Again, I haven't got to try it at all. Ironically, the fact that you say that candy apple, we actually can get that. I like that as a treat, but not like my go-to. My go-to probably is the firework. And then yeah, I like the cotton candy as well. And the dreaming's okay occasionally, but like super cold. If it's once it starts to get warm to me, it's kind of nasty. I don't know.
Have you made any food with Fago yet?
I have not made my own Fago dogs or nothing like that. I should
You can
try
make
it, but I'm
pancakes,
afraid like it
cupcakes,
tastes
cake.
nasty, and then I'll be a Juff. No, see that sounds good. That's a smart option doing sweets because come on, but you know experimenting with I'm gonna be the first to do some Fago chicken or some shit.
I don't know how that chicken's gonna turn out there, buddy. I mean, the apple might be okay.
Right. Uh,
Use a
all right.
rudeness on a ham
There we go. Uh, pie or cake?
pie.
All
I
right.
don't
You like I'm gonna throw his up there too, but I was also gonna say, do you like cobbler or crisp?
cobbler,
Okay, and then Yo Man said nachos or taco salad.
taco salad.
All right. You have no choice. You got to pick one of these options, okay? You have to make a 3 mile walk in the rain, okay? No umbrella. You're just walking in the rain. Or you got to make a 5 mile walk in the desert, provided just enough water so you don't dehydrate, and maybe one or two shade spots.
I'll take the rain.
So I've only had like two or three artists out of my whole little doing these interviews that picked the desert, and I was shocked that anybody ever chose that option. But one of them was like Acetone Boogie, and he said because he's from Arizona, it's kind of natural to him to be out there or whatever, and he don't like being wet and soggy and all chafed up or whatever. And I don't remember exactly who else, but I think only two other artists ever said the desert. I personally would pick the rain too, aside from the fact of dreads, but as long as I can dry them afterwards, I'd be alright.
You did not say you couldn't have a rain cap. You just said no umbrella.
Fair, fair. Yes, there's my safety on my own. All right, Mexican. Wait, yeah, you did pick. Okay, so then his kind of relates to this, and that's what I mean. Mexican food or Chinese?
Don't do that to me.
Yep,
Don't
yep. You gotta
you
choose.
can't do that to me.
Which do
Like,
you like a little more? Like, what's the determining factor if you're going to Chinese or if you're going to Mexican?
well, him and I go out to Chinese more than we go to Mexican, so I guess we'd have to say Chinese. But
Right.
we love Mexican food in this house. Like my
Yeah,
husband's
yeah.
half Mexican and Italian, so like
Naturally. Yeah,
yes, naturally. You
yeah. That's
can't,
cool.
you can't make me choose, bruh.
Right. Uh, all right. Randomly, surfing or skateboarding?
Well, I've never surfed, so let's try that because I'm not very good at skateboarding.
Right. I would. I just have a hard time with sharks. The idea of sharks, and you got to go out deep enough for sharks. I guess there is ways to do freshwater like surfing, but I don't think that's the same as being on the ocean or whatever. And I'm also not the type of person to say that there's shark infested water. There's human infested water. That's their home. So I'm not mad at them for being out there. I don't know. I'm a
I
weenie when it
mean,
comes to that.
I could take a harpoon with me.
Right, right. No shit. Ah! Yeah, that'd be the shit. All right. You're given $5,000 cash money, but you have to pick one store and spend it all immediately. Where are you going?
Can it be online?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon.
There you go. Get a lot of good shit on there.
Be a little easier too to try to spend that much all at once. Like, yeah, just go to Amazon,
Right.
make it.
That's one question I don't think I've ever put my own like real thought into. I guess it just depend on the time and place, but I mostly expect you artists to say a music store or something of that nature, whatever, to get equipment. But I've had artists come up here and say, "I'm gonna go to Walmart and spend it on diapers, so then I ain't gotta use my personal money on diapers, and I can invest that into my craft." You're probably, I think you're my fourth female only artist that I've interviewed, fourth or fifth. Now I got to go back and look, but I haven't interviewed too many female artists.
Amazon even
uh,
sells cars though, bruh.
yeah, right. Yeah, true. You can get absolutely anything on there, to be honest. Well, just about anything. Uh, yeah, so what I have are the fill in the blank questions left for you. What's he say? I make Mexican and Italian. It be what it be. I make the Mexican Italian. It be what it be. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Um. All right. So the first fill in the blank goes as follows. My favorite vacation was blank.
I guess when I went to Nashville to meet Boots, that was the closest thing I could say to my last favorite vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you guys met.
No. Okay, so no, we met on TikTok as friends, and
Yeah.
I ended up physically meeting him at Gathering.
Okay. Okay. That's
And
cool. But then
then
like you went to go see him there or whatever, and
and then once we started talking, he was in Nashville and I was in Ohio, so I went down there to see him after that.
that's cool. Whoop whoop to that. Uh, if you did have the bicycle I remember having most as a kid was blank. It's like a pedal bicycle.
For the most part, the spin
Mine.
speed.
Yeah, that I mean that mine that I like I remember my first 20-inch bike that my mom got was a Huffy Rocket is red, and then like the bike I probably actually owned most though was either a Mongoose or a Next, and I always tried to have the pegs and the mags on it or whatever, try to be cool, but I wasn't.
I can't remember the color of my bike. I don't know why or what that is. It wasn't any like name brand special. It was just it got me from point A to point B, and that's all I cared about back then.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
I didn't have to
I
walk.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm with it. Uh all right, so the last one I got for you here, and this is for freshwater or salt water, rather you've been to the ocean or not. Um, the best part about the beach is blank. So just the best part about going to the beach is what?
Well, the swimming, I would assume, because I don't know what else you really do at the beach other than build sand castles and try to stay out the
Yeah.
damn sun.
Right. So most people I expect at least the guy artists to come up here and say women in bikinis, which I've had a couple do that very thing. But I've actually been shocked by some of the other answers, and some of the answers have like related to my answer, so to speak, and it always just kind of makes it seem ironic. But believe it or not, Wiggles' answer, even though he does like the women in bikinis, my old lady will watch them with me. Um, but no, it's just embracing Mother Nature. When you step up to that water and you got your toes in the water and on the sand, and you're realizing that there is something bigger than you. No matter how strong or big and tough you think you are, you will never beat Mother Nature. You will never be bigger than her. We as a whole do and can destroy her, and we've proven that. But like you'll never be bigger than that moment, and just like letting go and just taking it all in. Like I would say that is the best part about going to the beach, or even going hiking in the woods, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe that's the inner hippie in me or something like that. But that I would say that's pretty much my answer to that question. Um, so yeah, this is usually the part where I tell you if you want to shout out anybody or just say any last things, or if there was something that I didn't touch on that you wanted to get out or speak on briefly or whatever within this interview, that'd be the time to go ahead and get that out.
Well, I do want to shout out the fact that we get the show on May 7th and May 8th. I do still have tickets for that. So anybody wants to go to the Columbus show or the Summit show, hit me up. Then we have an upcoming show in July, possibly one in June. So the tickets for the July one are $15. It's an all-day event. We're gonna have a lot of bomb-ass artists there. Plus, it's at a dispensary bar, which is really fun. I gotta make sure I bring that up again. The other one could possibly be not too far from you. So
Really?
waiting for the word.
You're
And
coming to
honestly, I wish I
Indiana?
would have.
Oh, Hoosierville?
So I got hit up by Iced Gemini, which is in Indiana, and that's my homie. He's one of my sound engineers too. When I need one, he's always on that shit. He's solid. He helped me master the last song. So
Right.
gotta give him a shout out on that one too, because I don't think I dropped his name earlier. But no, he might have a show in June that he
Okay.
told me he would like me to come to. So I don't know that for sure yet. That one I can't give a date or any information on. But the next three shows, anybody wants to get tickets or go, hit me up.
Absolutely. And we're gonna get any links. I don't know how, like, do you have a link tree? Do you have something that has
I
all of
do.
your socials and stuff on it, and
Yep.
whatever you want to promote to be promoted? Because we're gonna get that. In fact, as soon as I end this, I want you to send your link tree or whatever links to me on Messenger, so I can put them in the top of the description. Everybody can just click that and find it and start, go give her some traction, go give her some views, some watches, follows, subscribes, stuff like that. So, yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to come on. I'm sorry it took me so long to actually get you on here,
It's all
but
right.
we made it happen. And like I tell all the artists once they've had this first interview, from that point forward. If you ever see me live, just like a random live, not even up here with an artist, or you know it's an open panel, you ain't got nothing going on, come hop in the stream, hop up on panel, even if it's just for a minute to promote yourself, like whoop whoop, and then dip. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Just come kick it or whatever, drop a link, whatever the case may be. And folks, I don't even care if y'all got annoyed. I end my streams the same way every time. All 102 so far have ended the same, and that ain't gonna change. So I like to end my streams by telling you guys to go tell somebody you love them, because you don't know who needs to hear that, and it could be you that could help them out. You might have the answer. You might have been through something they've been through, and they're just overlooking the exit, the outlet, or whatever. And you don't know what somebody's going through just by looking at them. And you know what I'm saying? Don't walk around with unnecessary hate in your heart. I know I was 19 and homeless, and nobody thought I was homeless. They just thought I was a dirty kid sitting out on a park bench, enjoying the day. And nobody stopped to say, "Hey, are you okay? What's going through your head? Or you need, just don't be a hateful person. Tell somebody you love them, and you know, uh, take care of yourselves. I love each and every one of you that came. I love everybody that's gonna watch this on the replay. Wiggles got love for pretty much anybody. You got to be a pretty foul person not to get some love from this guy. But yeah, thank you very much, Misty. I love you, Red
Yeah,
Finesse,
too. Love
Boots.
everybody. Love my fans.
Yeah. And I wish you well. And until
Thank
next
you.
time, whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. Stay up.
Yeah.